Hey everybody, it's Vash Venture back with another video. Today I'm actually answering a mystery question that I posed in one of my last videos. It was what I'm going to do with my bicycle spokes. It was kind of a mystery hints. I didn't really do any more hints, but I figured I'd explain it today. I'm actually going to go through some testing real quick. So what I figured out is I was building my e-bike, and one of the biggest problems that I've run into is I didn't like the original wheel and tire combo that actually came with my little Chinese $150 e-bike 1000-watt kit. And so what I wanted to do is I wanted to put that hub on my existing fat tire wheel. And what I ran it to immediately was that trying to calculate spoke length was pretty difficult. And on top of that, to find the right gauge from the right supplier was more or less just a huge ordeal. And it wasn't especially something that I could find locally. So I'm trying to come up with a creative solution. And one of the ones that I saw is that I saw a couple people for festivals like Burning Man. What they do is they take huge PVC pipes and then they stretch steel cables between the outside to the actual inside of a like a regular car wheel, and all they use is just your standard Home Depot steel cable. And I was thinking about that, and of course that's much more widely available. So I wanted to come up with an idea where you didn't need a giant machine to create spokes, and you didn't have to wait on an order for spokes, where you can just go out to your local store and make your own solution. And another thing I came across is in an emergency, you can use brake cable to actually correct at least one spoke. So, good old fashioned brake cable with stuff on the end. And of course, you're probably guessing why I have so many of these. Well, I'm going to make these my actual spokes on my wheel. And there's plenty of ways that I can figure out how to tension it, all the way down to simple Android apps, apparently using just tone. So using that to tension my whole wheel, I'm going to use these. I'm also going to use a ground bar that I got from Home Depot for about $5 or $6. And this is just made to put all these cables onto one bar, and you just make sure that this bar is grounded. What I'm going to use it for is I've already cut off one of the ends here. I'm going to cut off each one of these sections so I can just temporarily hold this cable in place before I actually lock it into place. Because one of the biggest issues I'm going to have is, I need to tension them all evenly, and how can I remain temporarily tensioned? And so I figured this is my easiest DIY way. I couldn't figure out a simpler way to do it. Plus this was cheap. It works really well, holds this cable in place. I've already tested it out. And so that leads me on to the next thing I'm going to test today. I bought 100 of these little aluminum, I think they're called fullers. I forget exactly what they're called. I use a swage tool on it. Anyways, I'm going to use just one of these on the open-ended side here to make a loop, and the other end's going to go on either the wheel side or more than likely the e-hub side. And so this should be a little challenging, but it should be at least something where anybody can do fairly cheaply. And the only thing that might be a little difficult is finding these cheaply, because I did have to order them from China. It's the only kind of proprietary bit to all this, but realistically you could just do 2 loops and probably have the same result. And so what I'm going to do today is I've done a little bit of conflicting research. I've seen these can take up to about 400 pounds max. No idea what the working load would be on that. I would assume half. So if that's true, then 200 pounds working load. Home Depot's website said on the exact type of wire that seems to be coated is somewhere around 100 pounds. So I decided to make a little rig that I'll show you outside where it's actually in the wind, using nothing more than a whole bunch of washers. And then I of course rigged up the exact same system that would be on my bike, just in a bigger system. The only thing I'm not too happy about is that it's on a big 4x4 rather than a sharp thing like the bicycle will be. So I'll show you that, and I'll test it by simply standing on the weight. Figure I'll just explain what I'm going to go through and then show it off, because it is pretty windy outside. So I'm going to show that now. Alright, so here's the system I've rigged up. I used a whole bunch of washers to make sure the load was more or less centralized on that little bit. So I'm going to find out if this fails first or if the steel cable will fail first. I'm actually just going to use my own weight to actually do this. Currently there's 2.5 pounds plus whatever the washes are on. And of course I used a standard swage tool. Kind of can see that there. Let's see. But I use that to crimp it all together. As you can see, it's quite tight. And realistically, we'll see which fails first. Like I said, it's on not a sharp corner or anything like that. Which will fail first? Alright, here goes nothing. Gradually putting my weight on it. So see if I can just show you put all my weight on it now. Ah. Yeah, this can hold at least 200 pounds, which is how much I weigh. We're about 180 right now, or 190. I see no damage whatsoever. Try to hop on this thing even more. Oh. Whew. I would say it's safe to say that this is going to hold my weight, and 36 of them are going to hold my bicycle's weight, no problem with me on it, doing jumps. I can't really see any problem with this setup. Pretty ecstatic with how this is going to work out. So I'm going to lace that up, I'm going to try out torquing out this whole system. We can see if I can actually get this dialed in, if it explodes or not. Awesome, super ecstatic. So until next time, this has been Fash Venture.